Okay, this is about setting up the perimeter switch location, and you need to determine where the best area is to set the switch up. They recommend setting it up on a wall or fence in a dry, sheltered location. If you're doing just one, make it so it's easy to access. You can also use more than one perimeter switch and use a stake, a mounting stake that they have, to transport it from one zone to another if you don't want to buy more than one. You want to mount it vertically. Refer to the manual about perimeter wire setup. It gives you a lot more details than this short video. But you do start at the switch and uncoil the wire loosely on the ground, and then leave enough space at the beginning so that you can have room to close the loop. Use the measuring device that comes with it. They call it a robo ruler. In some cases you need to isolate an area like shown here, and then you make two pieces of wire go together and then around the object. These are the types of objects that the Robomower cannot detect because they're not tall enough. In some areas where there are too many obstacles together, you want to isolate all of them at once, but don't create a small narrow zone behind them. When you splice it, cut off about a ½ inch, stripped, twist them together, and put on the wire nut. You want to use a silicone filled one. Sometimes you need to use more than one zone for the Robomower to work correctly. You can have 2 or 3 zones and it will still be just as efficient. You might need just a little more tending to. You can also buy additional switches or use one like this first example. Watch how they do the line. You go all the way around all 3 zones. And then come back to the perimeter switch. All 3 zones are now isolated, but you only have one perimeter switch. Then you just drive the Robomower up near this wire, push the start button, and it will do that zone. Those wires should be touching. The gap is just for illustration. Another option would be 2 loops, one for the back and one for the front, and use 2 different switches. In the original videos, the woman kept saying perimeter. We all know that that means perimeter. In the third sample, they're going to do 2 sections, one that covers part of the front and the back, and another one that covers the separated part of the front. You'll notice those bushes are not all the way across between the front and back now. Now this is how you adjust the wheels. Take the battery out, tilt it up, and you twist the front wheel in order to choose which height you want to use. There are 6 height options. You can also adjust the ground clearance on the back with a handle adjustment, and you'll see how the wheels move. When you're going to turn it on, you drive it up near the perimeter wire, put the controls back in, make sure the switch is on, and then push the green button. It's really all it takes. it will mow around the yard first, then make a turn to the left and start making crisscross patterns across the yard. Sometimes you need to do manual mowing, and for that you pull out the control box. In areas like shown here, it's too narrow to use a perimeter wire, and then you just push the buttons as they say to in the instructions and then walk behind it. Kind of steers like a joystick. Every time you use the Robomower, you want to recharge it. That way the battery is not sitting in a discharged state, which will wear out the batteries quicker. That's true for any battery-powered lawnmower. It's always best to store them with a full charge. This one you can leave attached to the charger at all times. Be sure and follow all instructions in the manual, and you can find the manual on my site where this video is also embedded. You want to keep it at ready, keep charging.